private company, abroad company.
কিন্তু লিডস বোৰ ক'ত পায় আপুনি ধৰি লওক যে লিডস যে আপোনালোকে জেনাৰেট কৰে
So leads to mainly message.
We will be
good evening, good afternoon, and greetings of the day to everybody who is joining this webinar, and we welcome you. So I'm sure you all have read about what this webinar is about. What this webinar is focusing is on a very delicate topic, which we are yet to discuss in the new normal, stress management of educators. So I'm sure we have parents here, and we have educators, and we have teachers who will agree with me when I say that this new normal would have brought a lot of stress, but for teachers, especially a migration from the classroom to online was a big change, right? And so much has been discussed about the mental health of children, and we are reading so much, but have we seen how it is connected to teachers' mental health? So this is what the forum is about, and we will be talking about the challenges, but remember, we will also be talking about a lot of success stories, yeah, and a lot of solutions, a lot of inspiring notes from our speakers today. So my name is SIMRAN BALLANI. I'm an educationist myself, and I stay in Bangalore, India, and I have about 22 years of experience, and we have such an awesome panel this evening with us. So give me a second before I start introducing them. So with us first, we have the founder of Ecdf, Dr. VASAVVI. Welcome, Dr. VASAVVI. The next we have is Miss PRIYA. PRIYA Roy is an ex-chef, and we had a very lovely conversation with her on her journey from being a chef to educationist. So that was pretty interesting. And we have Dr. SANGEETA with us. She is the first counseling psychologist to have set up an independent counseling clinic in Northeast India in 1996. So such an awesome panel, and we will start by talking to Dr. VASAVVI. We'll straight get into the nitty-gritties of stress management. And Dr. VASAVVI, can you hear me well?
yes, I can hear you, Simran.
Okay, so would you like to kickstart this webinar and tell us how was your experience of this entire online delivery model where early childhood education is concerned?
See, Simran, frankly speaking, till about March, when our schools were, we suddenly had a lockdown, and we barely had time to actually understand that a lockdown was coming, or this kind of a situation was coming. It was very, very unnatural, and it was completely unthinkable at that point of time. Yeah. And suddenly when the lockdown happened, we all were at a loss. We didn't know what to do because schools were off. And we immediately started thinking, because we are into education, and we want to keep ourselves updated, right? So when the lockdown happened, the first thing I think all the schools started thinking was what to do with the delivery of our education. Yeah. Now, that was the first thing, first and foremost. Second thing that came into our minds as, early childhood educators, or, working in that domain, was how can we give online classes to children who are so young? Because we know about their attention span. We know how, they are all the time playing, and that is what they are meant to do. And getting them on an online platform and giving them lessons was again something that made me think that what is the best way. The third thing that came into our mind was, where are teachers, our educators ready for an online delivery? And most importantly, the parents as well. So after about 1-2 weeks, what we came up with was the blended curriculum, the blended learning, in terms of, though we did not have a one-to-one, yet we had those online classes, not classes as in, but rhyme session and all of that, which engaged children in a good way. Like they were very happy about those, and also started giving some assignments and all. So there was a sudden transition, and there were a lot of hiccups on the way, because see, so many people did not have a proper net connection. If you don't have a broadband, it's very difficult to be on Zoom or on any other platform, to get connected. Then some of the parents did not have the know-how, because everybody is not, so good at online mode. Then the teachers also had to prepare curriculum based on how to deliver it online. A one-to-one delivery and an online, remote learning is very, very different. So they were also preparing themselves, and in the meantime, we started giving them the assistance that was required, from our end to be given. So that is how we started, this journey from a completely offline, because preschools are just like that. We have a lot of soft skills. We keep on, we initiate our children to learn. It is not about hardcore learning. It is all about exploring and understanding. And then when we suddenly step into another platform, it gets, there was a little hiccup, but then we kind of sorted. Yeah.
Did you while you were doing this migration, and while you were plotting this, and while you were preparing this, so India still has a lot of challenges when we talk about online delivery. It could be infrastructure, it could be motivation of parents. So did you also take that into account, and also did parents cooperate right away, or you had to make an effort to do that? How was your experience on that?
See, when we are talking about, we have these rural, schools. We have the schools in the urban areas, the cities. Then we have children from the marginalized sections who are living in the slums. They also go to school. So when we look at India as a whole, when I talk about online classes, yes, it is not available to everyone as of today.
Yes.
Okay, it is because of lack of infrastructure. It is because of lack of facilities. And we are not able to give classes, because being in the ECDF forum and working for children from the underprivileged sections of the society, we have seen that there are a lot of glitches when it comes to online learning. And coming to parents who are in the urban areas, who are in the cities, who are, sending their children to good preschools, parents, initially, I think they had a little doubt about it, but I think over these months, because it's been months that we are using the remote learning platform, and I think parents are particularly happy now. And that is my experience. We have been doing online lot of work. Children are learning, and parents are also learning in the process. They are learning how to get their children involved even when they're at home. This concept was not there, because generally, parents send their children as young as 2 years to preschool.
Yes.
And they are kind of, at that point of time, education wise, they are not so connected. They are like, okay, school, they have done everything at school, come back. So now the parents are they are also, they've come into our support system. They've helped us. And I think there's a very good positive relationship that is built up between the parents, the school, and the student, through this. So these are some of the advantages that we had. And what was the other thing you asked? If I've answered all your...
Yes, I was asking about, so a lot of parents, you answered that a lot of parents actually may not have been ready with the infrastructure in terms of network connectivity and the mobile phones. So, I mean, as an educator, as heading NGO, as well as your own preschool chain, how did you factor that in? Like, was it something which was easily accomplished by a little bit of motivation to parents? Because at the least, everybody has a smartphone.
I think parents got motivated after they were a little comfortable, after all the schools started doing it. When everything is like, oh, they are doing it, so it's okay, kind of here. So when they saw that most of the preschools have got online, most of the high schools have got online, so I think parents were kind of comfortable with the whole thing. Those who did not understand the nitty-gritties got into it. Probably they had discussions. We opened our WhatsApp groups where we kind of guided the parents what is going on. So that kind of thing helped. And I think we did pretty well with the online summer fest also. And we got, so we got very positive feedback from the online summer fest, where children made videos of their dance and all, and they sent, and it was just a fest, no competition at all, a fest, and everybody enjoyed sharing the videos and stuff, and it was a very good time I saw in all of our centers, you know. So I think parents have also been part of this thing, and since our school, we don't know when it is going to open. I think this is the best way, because these are most crucial years in a child's life, and we cannot do away with, you know, stopping education or telling that, okay, the school is not there, so we will just stop our children from learning also. This is the most crucial period. So one day lost is also lot of, you know, children loses a lot. So I think parents are really good at understanding.
Yeah, so looks like that this was more of you took this migration of classroom to online very positively, and you made sure the communication channels were open. Like you said, we also did a WhatsApp group. So you were communicating with the main stakeholder, that was the parent, right? And you did not give up on the hurdle where some of the parents would have not been convinced immediately, but took their time to get convinced, and now they are happy parents.
Yes, absolutely, Simran.
Okay.
And I feel that, you know, this we had a lot of stress during this transition. Every transition calls for stress because you are not ready for it, and suddenly when there's a transition, there is some kind of, you know, from you are out of your comfort zone. But I think we all did pretty well. We got out of it, and I think we are now doing well and learning every day, like I would say.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, VASAVVI. So before I invite Dr. Sangeeta, I see there are a lot of audience members who have just joined us. So just to give them a background, we are here this evening to talk about stress management of educators, because this has been a very stressful time in terms of migrating from a classroom environment of India to going to online. But add to that, we are managing very tiny children. So there was a lot to be done in terms of teacher motivation, parent motivation, and curriculum development for the online segment. So I will invite Dr. Sangeeta here. And Sangeeta, have you read about this? Have you spoken to teachers, educators about this when they were not only battling the corona lockdowns and all of those depressing things, but also coping up with this new change?
Yes. Yes, Simran. I think, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here in this forum. And I have been also associated with VASAVVI. And when she had sent the invite, I took this as an opportunity to share. I think every one of us is going through a little bit of this kind of a stress. And so to learn from each other is a wonderful forum right now. As VASAVVI said, yes, it has been a transition for all of us, even from Mind India, when we have a full-fledged OPD on mental health, and we also do a lot of school mental health work. And we also started immediately our online programs. And it has been a steep learning curve for all of us, you know, getting to understand. And, you know, suddenly Zoom became the absolutely buzzword.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that itself was something that we were saying that, you know, some things that we had never learned, now we are learning on that. And especially, you know, I can understand and appreciate the kind of challenge is for the younger population, for these kindergarten students. Because as VASAVVI said, that you are just taking this child in and actually just encouraging the development, the positive development of a child at that point of time. You're not going to get into the ABCDs of all the education that the child requires. And so when online came on, and one biggest drawback was that we were not able to reach out to one certain section of the people who did not have a smartphone or who had poor connectivity. And so, and also because if you're looking at not only, I'm looking at if the lower socioeconomic status people and their opportunity of sending their children for some learning was the Anganwadi workers and the centers, which again got totally compromised.
Yes.
But so we did struggle, but I think we all have to do what we have to do. You know? At least, you know, instead of just sitting down, we are trying to do something. And what has happened in the bargain is that I think our population target also changed. You know, primarily we were actually talking to the child. You know, there was a one-to-one interaction, but now it's become more biomedia. So the primary target has become the parents. So we are actually teaching the parents of how to do our work or our job. And so, so the frustration is that, there is always a loss of transfer of knowledge out here. Because we are trying to, and not everybody is going to pick it up in the same way. And of course, because they are not trained. They are not trained to be kindergarten teachers. They are parents. And they are actually expecting a whole lot from them at this point of time.
Absolutely. So well said, Dr. Sangeeta. So it was more like, who would have thought this online would be a new learning for us, and we would reach out to our little ones through this online, and parent would actually learn the basics of early childhood education. So it has been quite innovative and transformation for each one of us. Basically unlearning to learn new things. All right, I will go to my next panelist, who is a very, very interesting person who has left a very glamorous hotel chef life to come and join this fraternity. So welcome once again, Priya.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
So, and we can hear you well too. So
great.
when things got tough, right? You are an entrepreneur, right? And you have started this school, Time Kids, about 3 years back. And it was just, it's like an early phase. So what did this Corona and this lockdown mean to you?
See, I've taken Time Kids as such is a company that has been here for about more than 11, 12 years. Okay, it's a part of the Triumphant Institute of Management Education, which is a well-known. So I had taken a franchisee for it. I'm one of the franchise owners. Those little people who do. Okay, so when I actually started off, it's as an entrepreneur, the main focus is business. Okay, so when a pandemic actually sets in,
yes,
you don't expect it to hit it the way that it actually did. You expected it to just, okay, this is something that had happened. It's like a little flood which came, a drought which came. It's going off. It's going to go off. Nobody thought it's going to go for a stretch of 5 months, 5, 6. I mean, it's still going on. So everything suddenly came to a standstill. The reality when it hit you, it was really bad. Then you didn't know what you were how to gear up for, what to do.
Absolutely.
See, Time Kids was telling us, giving us a summer camp and everything, which we were doing offline. And it was like a way to check what was going to be the response. But there were a very handful of parents who were reacting back to us and doing the stuff that we were asking to. So moving into an online platform, was it going to be beneficial? Is it going to happen? And the first initial thing that affects you is the fact that the parents are not open for the fact. For them, but for the other, it's all little children. They don't want them to. They don't want them in front of the computers, and the computer is for them because they are all working from home. They don't have the time for all this. They don't have the time for you teach them to transfer it back, like what she said, to learn, to unlearn what they know, learn, and then again teach. They don't have the time because they are also working from home. So that itself was another challenge for us. It was another because most of the parents did not want this portal. First thing, even when we were ready to adapt to the change, parents were not ready to take in the possibility. But then a person like me, for me, I never look at a problem. When I always tell myself, if you look at it as a problem, you will end up with more problems. If you look at it as a situation, you'll find umpteen solutions to your situation. So somewhere down the line, if this solution works, good. If it doesn't work, you have another one. It throws up. When you look at it as a situation, you're thrown up with various possibilities. Possibilities came from of what Time Kids was helping us. Possibilities came in form of what my family was telling me, was giving me ideas. I have a son.
The family support us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a son who's 11 years old. He's still, he's in the transition phase. So he was telling me, Mama, why don't you do this? Mama, Mama, your children will lose. So he was giving me, I was getting inputs from him. I went into a total learning phase all over again. It went into a total, the paradigm totally changed because for me, my 4th year was the year I get money. I start making money. Years I pumped in a lot into the business. So 4th year, I was looking forward to get something back. But fourth year, it's changed. 4th year has changed. Now my outlook is no longer the business. Honestly speaking, it's the fact that There is so much more to learning and teaching that has cropped up, which has propelled me, which has put me forward.
Wow.
So when the lockdown phase, when we totally shut down, where we couldn't go out, the initial 1 week, 2 weeks was holiday. Okay, but later on, your mind starts thinking, okay, how do I go about it? What am I supposed to do? If I'm
And then
supposed to
from
do
denial,
recorded
we go
video
to,
classes.
yes. And from denial, for me, it was more of a denial. And from denial, it transitioned to a nightmare, to a reality. So for me,
I guess it was the same for all. We all went through the same.
yeah, so from denial to nightmare, I can like really make a graph. And then I hit the reality and I said, yes, this is staying and this is what is going to be there. You better accept it. So yes, yes,
So
Priya.
the next challenge which came into me was, I'm not technologically savvy.
Okay.
I can talk, I can talk to my kids, I can play with my kids, I can come up with new games, ideas, new ways of teaching. I do a lot of out of the box approach to learning. But what do I do about technology? It's my basic stuff is my phone. That's all I operate. And the maximum of any video chats has been through WhatsApp to my friends or my family, and that's it. So that meant a lot of new learning for me, because there's a possibility that I might need to go. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, whether I was going to go in for live sessions, whether I was going to do pre-recorded videos. So whatever it was, I had to start from the very beginning. I needed to learn how to record for using a phone. I needed to stand in front of a camera and expose myself to the world. I was only exposing myself so far, and the parents were coming for admission. I need to expose them to, and it has to, and then the fear is like, fear of being judged is also there. If I'm going to stand in front, and who's going to see me, what are they going to say? Am I, are they going to look at me, are they going to applaud what I'm going to teach, or just make a comment of, oh, just look at the way she's doing, looking at her jumping around, she's 40 plus and she's jumping around as if she's thinking she's 2 years old. So all, all these things, all these things hit you, so you really don't know. But one thing that I was very clear was I needed to get my technology right, because that's where the whole world was heading to. So I started learning how to do, going through tutorials, YouTube tutorials on how to make a video, how to compress a video, how to edit a video, what are the programs that my phone will support, and what was more comfortable for me. How do I send it to parents? Will they, because WhatsApp gives you only 17 MB to send. So how do I do it? Because my class is going, when there's more colors and more images involved, then your MB automatically, see, these are things I learned over the years. I didn't know all this, okay? So it was this is all the learnings that I got through over this phase. And today it kind of worked out quite well.
Yeah.
So much so that the response from my parents and my kids is tremendous. They are very positive. They so much so that they give me suggestions. Ma'am, why don't you try this? I found this app. I found this. This is a cheat which is there for this. Try it out. Parents are coming up with new modes to teach me, and the way the children have been reciprocating, as well as the way parents have reciprocated, I won't say the strength is definitely very less than what I used to have, in
Yes,
my previous,
because
way too less.
a transition for all of us,
Yes.
and even for parents, and I empathize, especially parents who are toddler parents, like 2 years, 3 years. It is a difficult phase for them. But you've summed it up pretty well, Priya, and you seem to have battled this out with a lot of positivity, and you were open to learning. You said, I want to learn technology, I want to talk to my parents, I want to do ABC. You made that positive list, right?
Right.
But there are a lot of teachers, a lot of educators who try to push the things away, or who are not, when I said we went from denial to nightmare to accepting it, and we have now come to this positivity thing. But there are a lot of educators who would have faced this anxiety of not being able to manage to push the things away. So I will open this for audience for a minute, and then I will invite Sangeeta to talk about this. So the teachers on the forum, or the educators on the forum, or school owners on this forum, give us in one line, what was it for you? Were you able to talk to your management saying, you know what, this is little difficult for me, like I need help? Were you able to sit down with your family, or was it just you who was battling? Like Priya said, she had support from the family, which is an awesome thing, right? Because they are giving a suggestion. Your son was giving suggestion, but has that happened? Have we reached out? Because it is a lot of time I have found it is very difficult for us to reach out to management, to our family, to our friends, and say, hey, you know what? I am anxious. I am little stressed. I am little depressed. So, so we want to hear from our audience, and of course, we will pass on to Dr. Sangeeta to talk about this. Do you see these kind of scenarios where people are not able to express what they are feeling, especially the teachers? Sangeeta, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'm just waiting for somebody to respond so that, you know, we can.
So audience, come on, let's have more of a participatory and very interactive webinar. It should be you also participating in telling us.
The more information I get, the better it will be for us.
Yes. Okay. So there are a lot of people who are saying they got the family support. Very nice. And we want to know more from you before we open the forum to Dr. Sangeeta to give us some stress management tips on this, or how to communicate better. Anybody else who would like to share? How was their experience? How did they reach out to their managements, or to their peers, or to their
I think you can, they can unmute and they can talk. That's absolutely fine, right?
Or they can, yeah, chat works better because we can see that, everybody can read that. Okay, so till we get this response, Dr. Sangeeta, what do you have to say about this?
I would have liked to share my PPT with you.
Sure, please do that.
On stress management, a little bit what I have talked about. Maybe it'll take me around 8 to 10 minutes, if you don't mind. So I'll just start off with sharing that. Okay?
Yes.
Can disable me, the host, you have to disable so that I can, you know, share. If you're the host, then you have to allow me to share that.
I'll be trying that, Dr. Sangeeta. In the meantime, you can just share your observations, and I'll just get back to Darpan to allow you to share the screen.
Good evening to all. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you.
Ma'am, this is Parimalam from Erode. I'm working as a kindergarten teacher. Really, we are having a tough time with Corona. But we are doing our WhatsApp classes in our school. Actually, it's going on very well. But teachers are having more stress. We are not able to do what the parents are expecting. The expectations level is more when we compare to schools. So how to come over all those things? Actually, we couldn't sleep properly. We couldn't take care of our family properly. Actually, if you go to school, we will be working only 8 hours. But now we are working 24/7, doing in the online classes. How to get rid of all those things? Please give us suggestions.
Is Dr. Sangeeta there? Parimalam, thank you so much for your input and your question. Being an educationist and heading a school myself, it is very, very important, of course, at the management level for us to plan teachers' time, which we have done. And in your case, if that's still to be done, you need to reach out to your management and give how many working hours is possible for the teacher. That is the first most important thing. As I said, it is very important that we communicate. So Dr. Sangeeta is back with us, and Dr. Sangeeta, can you answer that if you heard it?
Yes. So this is one of the struggle I think we all have it online, right? And you lose the connection of talking. That's the actually the loss of the human connection that I miss out here. But I'm still not able to share because the host disabled the participant.
Dr. Sangeeta, there is a slight error in this sharing mode. So I think you can just go on with your PPT verbally till Darpan, there's a little glitch in it. So he's trying to fix it up. So in the meantime, you can just start. And yeah, I think that would be better.
It would have been a pleasure to actually share the screen.
Yeah, he's trying it. He's trying.
No problem. So I think, we have understood that we all worry, and, this is one of the biggest worry that pandemic has brought in as to how we are going to manage and help and, trying to normalize everything. When we know that, this particular word normalize is actually not really working out here. That is why the new catchword of new normal has come in. But again, thinking and worrying is actually a fantastic tool for us as human beings, is it not? Because, all the kind of beautiful ideas that we have come up of innovation, of creativity, everything has come out only because we are able to think. But what has happened is that the only catch is when we over worry. When we over worry, we always think about the worst scenario, the worst case scenario, is it not? And in the worst case scenario, when it comes to us, we always feel very vulnerable and we are not able to really cope because we feel our coping mechanisms has gone down, and that is why we feel that we will not be able to do anything much in life. And so we start into the mode of self-criticism. As our stress increases, our self-criticism also increases because our confidence goes down, our esteem goes down, and every time you are learning something new, and that itself can be very, very overwhelming, is it not? So when we do so, when the self-criticism part comes in, then what happens is that we start naming and blaming ourselves.
Yes.
I'm a failure, I'll not be able to do anything. There is also what has happened because every time you are looking at online work and you're saying, oh, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so is doing that, what am I doing? Am I being able to do something? So when the young people use the word FOMO, that also comes in here, the fear of missing out. The whole this gamut of all that self-criticism actually causes a lot of burnout for us. And to overcome this burnout, one of the techniques which I also use it for myself and which I feel that it becomes very important for us is to talk about self-compassion. Because your stress will be there, emotions will be there. Every day we go through a myriad of emotions, right? Right from being happy to be sad, irritated, angry. But when these emotions overcome and overload you, that is the time I think we need to see for ourselves how we can again come back to track. So self-compassion is basically when you are empathizing with yourself, you're understanding what you are, who you are, looking at your strengths more than your weaknesses. Of course, you have to look at your weaknesses, but of course, if you're only looking at your weaknesses, you will not be able to pull up. But with the help of your strengths, looking at your strengths, you can easily talk about what are my weaknesses and try to overcome that. But the catch out here is what happens is that a lot of times we are not able to do that self-compassion because from a very young age, we are not taught how to empathize with ourselves. See, it's very easy to, if you see somebody on the road, somebody falls down, you quickly go and pick that person up, you want to donate something. So you are empathizing with others all the time. That is what we are taught. If you look at the Indian culture also, we always say that, don't talk about yourself too much. You should not. Even if you're young, if the kids also, we were also kids, we used to be told by our parents, even if you get good marks, don't have to talk about it. Others actually should talk about it. So what has happened is that we have not been taught how to actually appreciate ourselves and to be comfortable to say that, yes, I'm good in such and such things. So when we are talking about self-compassion, that also now reflects upon how we are also going to teach our parents also to have that self-compassion for themselves now. Because
Dr. Sangeeta, sorry to interrupt. The screen share option is available. You can start
fantastic.
sharing this.
I'll just try to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just come to the point where I was talking about it. You know. So, so this is where I was talking about self-compassion. Um, can you all see the screen?
Yes,
Is
we can see
it
it.
visible? Yeah, all right. So self-compassion means that you are accepting yourself as you are with your strengths and weaknesses, and you are trying to overcome any negative thoughts and feelings with the help of your strengths, which is also called as self-kindness. And so how do you do it? Positive psychology also I have drawn from there right now, to talk about more of self-compassion. And this also goes for both, for all stakeholders that we are talking about here, be it educators, be it parents, be it anybody else, maybe the extended family, people who are in the family, maybe grandparents, all of them. So if you are looking at from the positive psychology point of view, there's a word called karma. That means that there are 5 elements that you can do so that you are able to engage yourself more effectively in life and enhance your well-being. One is positive emotions. So that means I am concentrating more on the positive emotions rather than talking about what is not happening. So till the time it is not happening, I'm still doing something, which you all are doing. As educators, you all are doing. So, it's very, very important for you to accept and acknowledge the good stuff that you're doing. So I would like all of you to, pat on your own back and at least say good for you, because nobody else is going to do that for you. Please keep that in mind. Okay? Then to be positively engaged. Now, when I'm saying positively engaged, you don't need to go out and work or something like that. But even if at home also you are working on a particular hobby or a project, you are actually engaged positively. And to be connected. Yes, we only have physical connection. When I say social, distancing, I really don't like the word, so I always talk it as physical distancing right now. We all need that human connection and to be emotionally available to each other. And that is what relationship is all about. Whether you are near that person or not, keep on establishing those relationships. If talk to your friends, have some good friends around you, and this is how a relationship can grow. Then to have certain meaning in life. Right now the pandemic, what has happened, because there are 3 major stresses of pandemic that is happening. COVID-19, number one, it is absolutely ambiguous. It is open to different interpretations. Everybody is saying what it is about. We really don't know what this pandemic is all about, really, because it is so novel and new. And because it is novel and new, the second stressor is that we do not have the experience to bank on what we need to do, how we need to do. So all of us as educators, we're trying to find out ways and means or whatever is in our hands to go about it, is it not? And the third stressor that has brought about by this COVID-19 is that it is extremely unpredictable. We are not very clear about what is going to happen, and there's no timeline. When there's no timeline, our stresses increases. And that is why within that environment, what best we can do is something that will bring us some meaning into our existence. And to celebrate the small achievements. Even today, suppose Priya, you have been able to make a beautiful image of, for a presentation for your school kids. Yay, good job done for me. So this is how we are going to achieve our work. A few, you have already been mentioning how to support positive parenting, and I'm just adding a little bit to that only here. I think when we need to orient our parents more on the new normal of how to talk about safety and security, because there has been a lot of child abuse that has been reported during this time. Because of the stresses of the parents, they are not able to manage. Some of them are working from home. They have got a small kid, so they cannot go to the office. And so all of them are into that same space, and they don't know how to support each other. So child abuse and domestic violence have increased during this time. And domestic violence, has definitely an indirect impact on the child. It need not be direct, but of course indirect. So understanding the new normal, creating a safe and interesting environment for the child is something that we need to orient the parents for. Because even if we are with them, we are with them for maybe, you know, to 4 to 5 hours or at best 8 hours. After that, what? We really don't know. So to teach them how to use positive discipline to actually correct inappropriate behavior, and also right now what has happened for the parents also, they have become over vigilant. You know? There's so much over monitoring that it has become extremely stressful for the teacher. Can you imagine, you know, somebody behind your back and, you know, you are teaching some kid and there's somebody else with a hawk eye looking at you? Oh no, there will be, you know, absolutely performance anxiety which will come in definitely, and that is why the anxiety is increased for a lot of teachers. But what is the most important thing for the parents is to also look after their own needs and their quality of life. Once you're able to do that, you will automatically be able to talk to your children and support your child. So one or two things that very quickly I would like to go through is that how to enhance self-compassion and to reduce stress. Is that, yes, we need to eat well, sleep well. We have our whole timing has gone for a 6. We do not have a structure as we had before. Our food timing, our sleep timing has all gone off. But it is important to have a structure, but maybe a flexi routine also will be helpful here. Then the change of scene, because you are in that small space all together, sometimes it is important to just have a private space for yourself. Maybe, you know, you can ask the other family members to be away in the other room, maybe for 15-20 minutes, and give yourself that airtime and that space. Otherwise, that stress will really become very difficult for you to manage. Exploring your creativity is something that you can really look at, and I have also friends and family who are actually going back to old hobbies. So they, all right, you know, at least I have got a little bit of time to really talk about a little bit of my hobby. And walking definitely increases our happy hormones, so we need to do that. Staying connected is what I already told you. And then to identify your worry. You know, worry is very interesting because it can take you down the rabbit hole very quickly. So what I usually do is that you can peg it up as a tree, as a worry tree, and then you can find out, is this worry that I have, is it for the present or it is very future oriented? Because you will also understand most of your worry is actually future oriented. All right. So once you think that, oh, if it is future oriented, I can put it in the parking lot for the time being now, and I can think about it later. And if it is a worry that I need to think about it right now, yes, I will put some action into it. Right. Then social media influences us a lot. So checking your screen time and your social media time is extremely important. A lot of times our stresses can be managed also when we are looking after a plant or a living being. Some of them have also started looking after pets or a plant. So a little bit of greenery around you also helps. And whenever you feel a little low, you don't feel that confidence because everything is overwhelming, take some time to visualize the best in you. We all have our own best, you know? And I always say that, fake it till you make it, right? So think about yourself as the best that you want to be. And then the last point, and maybe the second last point, because I've got one more there, is that we need to practice the gratefulness of what we have right now. You know, I wish is always there. But a little bit of gratefulness will also put a smile on you. And when you smile, you cannot frown, is it not? So just a few slides to bring a smile on your face, which I put it as 15 points to positivity, 100%. So let us enjoy these few pictures that are going to come in now. Pursue achievable goals. Look at the beautiful picture. Yeah, keep smiling. Share with others. Help out your friends. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty one. No? The toddler out there. Maintain a youthful spirit. It's good to have fun. Forget about the age. Age is only a number. And you all are absolutely ageless, because you're always with kids and you all are all so full of fun and spirit. Get along with everyone. Keep cool under pressure. Look, I don't know who is under pressure right now here. Forgive others when they're annoying, and especially in the family. It's very important to forgive others when they're annoying. Have a few good friends. They always help. I have a few and I'm very fortunate about it. Cooperate and reap greater rewards. Treasure every moment of life. When you close your eyes, you should have a basket of happy memories from where you can always pick up, so that it helps you to reduce your stress. Have confidence in yourself. Yes, why not? Respect everybody. Yes. Calculate the risk of life. Just because you need to do something, don't just do it. Think a little bit on it also. And the last one, don't forget to relax. This is how we need to have a little bit of fun in ourselves. All right.
This is so amazing.
Thank you very much for giving me this time and to share this.
Thank you very much, and you have nailed it with last 15 slides and made each one of us smile. And the point of I read something very interesting this morning, that a professor came to the class full of children, and he got a glass full of water, half full of water, and they roll their eyes, and then they're like, he's going to again ask half full, half empty, and give a life lesson. But he went on a different accord, and he said, it is the weight of the glass. I mean, if you hold it for a minute, it doesn't bother you. If you keep holding on to your worry, the glass is nothing but worry, and we keep holding on to a worry, it definitely weighs us down. So it is basically how nicely we can relax ourselves. And I would turn to VASAVVI and talk about how was your talk with the teachers when they were coming on board and doing this online thing. What were your tips to them, or what do you think works out best in the work and life balance for teachers especially? What would you like to say about Dr. VASAVVI?
Okay, Simran, as far as, thank you, Dr. Sangeeta. That was a lovely, the last 15 pictures actually gave me a lot of, again, oxygen. All of them were really lovely. And yes, that is how we manage our stress. We need to just get off it from time to time. Yeah, when it came to my teachers, see, initially this transition was also not easy for them. Even Priya said, because she's also directly into the school, and she already shared how difficult it was, because everybody is not ready for a direct face-to-face online thing, where again, Dr. Sangeeta said, parents are looking at what you are doing. So all of that, kind of makes you conscious, kinds of, takes away a bit of your confidence also at times, and everybody is not ready. My teachers, the story was the same with them. They were not ready for online classes right away. So initially what we did was, from our head office, we started giving them guidance as to how to come up with good videos, what they should be doing, how they can do it, and how, in spite of the parents being on board while they're delivering the classes, they have to be parents, because the kids are too small. The children are very small. They can't handle the phone or the laptop. So parents are nearby. So how they can still conduct themselves, and how best they can deliver. So for that, what we did was also we started this communication with parents on one-to-one basis, depending on their time, as to how their children were developing with the online classes. And so the remote learning mode feedback we started taking, that how it was and all, and that also gave the teachers a kind of confidence, because the parents came up with really positive remarks. Not initially, I would not say from day one. Everybody was not very open to it, and we actually had to drag them into the remote learning mode, because they were also in their own lives all jumbled up, regarding their office, regarding their work, the business, right? So, and the child's education is, we think that, yeah, for us, because we are educators and we are always into it. For parents, the life is also many other things. So I told my educators also to go a little bit easy on the parents. It's not about doing all the assignments, give everything, today we will do this, you have to be there. No, we have to go easy on the parents as well. They have other things to manage. So that way, a very good collaboration was in the process formed in, say, in about 30 days, everybody started getting thing. And I would not say it is 100%. It
Yes.
is about 60% of parents who are very positive. 40 have, started, 20 are coming in, and probably 20 have already lost contact. Because some parents are not very open to it. So I would not say 100%, but it's okay. But yes, our educators also, they have their own lackings, they have their own inhibitions regarding certain things. But all these are suddenly this gap is being filled by the training and all, and the support that we are able to give. I think it is going to be okay. It's almost okay now. Yeah.
So what I understand, Dr. VASAVVI, is that you made sure that to reduce the stress of teachers, you were already collaborating with parents to understand what you're doing. And see, many times we fail to communicate to parents that the common interest is the child. So the teacher is also working for the child, and the parent is also thinking about the child. So all we need to do is sometimes present it to them, saying that we are working towards the betterment and overall development of your child. And the curriculum, the way the delivery is being happening, it is just so that the child is engaged positively and not seeing the same YouTube videos or playing with the same toys. So I go back to Priya. Priya, how was your experience in terms of, I know you also delivered sessions, but how was it your experience in terms of communicating with your teachers? And what was one advice that you gave them when they were coming online to deliver lectures?
See, honestly speaking, my school, my teachers they are not conducting classes directly. Okay. I'm the only one who's conducting the classes for all the different age groups.
Okay.
Because they were slightly shy. They were wondering how their husbands, because see, all of them are, they've got small children. They've got their own online classes for the children to adhere to. There are husbands, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, all watching them, judging them. They were not very comfortable.
Okay.
So what I gave them was a choice that they could, do back-end work for me, like do the teaching aids, to get everything assembled. Okay, this is the structure. You get everything done, and I will do the class. And they come. They come on rotation. They have formed their own schedules, so the teachers come on rotation. They sit through the session. They build up their own confidence. Okay, so slowly they have now, from this month onwards, they come in along with me for classes. Like when we're doing the sessions, they come in for a short bit. They do a small portion. They probably, give us little story out, and I'm there right next to them. So that fear factor, I'm trying to get it out so that they don't feel pressurized. One more major thing that I do from my side to evaluate, because the work-life balance is lost when you sit at home and do this whole thing. And it's not easy because at home, you tend to be more a wife and a mother than a teacher and a professional. And most of the teachers are in a preschool level are ladies who are housewives, okay, and who are doing this as a part-time job. That's how it works. So this, or as a even if it's a full-time person, when it comes to home, the role totally changes. So for the family to accept a work from home module for a teacher is not an easy structure. So as an educator and a person who has luckily for me, my teachers are not very far off from where my school is located. So I travel to school every day.
All right.
And the classes are conducted out of a school scenario. So we use a classroom, we do the setup. We don't want, because otherwise you're occupying somebody's bedroom and changing it into a kindergarten or a hall into a kindergarten. And it's not easy for a family to sustain it. So we decided to totally rule it out. So we run it from school. We run the sessions from school. And so that way, there's a lot of ease for my teachers, because one is, okay, they're not they feel that they're not being judged. They're able to see the children come on screen. They're happy with that. And they provide me with all the support. They make all the back-end decorations, the paperwork, whatever normally goes into running the school operation, they do it for me. And initially we used to do this when school was on, we used to have a Friday party day. So we used to do a total Monday to Thursday of class, and Friday used to be parties. So but now with the online mode where we just do half-an-hour blocks, we do live sessions in the morning and then pre-recorded sessions thereafter to send for parents who have not attended the live. So what happens is on Saturday, so now on Saturdays, we have a Saturday for fun mode, which again was well received and was very, lot of people from the city also started, when they see it on my Facebook page. So they used to come back to me and say, oh, this is lovely. So we started another YouTube channel. I started a YouTube channel called PRIYA for Kids, which totally handles with preschool. And my teachers work a lot for this YouTube channel. They give me a lot of, they set up the whole thing. They help me perform. So this way, we are catering to a larger media, and the teachers themselves are feeling they're able to do a lot of stuff from home. All the work, whatever stuff they need to do for the thing, they do it from home. And they come to school, and then on Saturdays, we do this Saturdays for fun. So that it works out really good.
So I think so it sums out very well. In case of VASAVVI, Dr. VASAVVI made sure that she's communicating forefront with the parents, making sure that collaboration is happening so teachers are comfortable, while you are leading with example, making sure if the teachers are not comfortable to come online as yet, you're taking the lead and doing the whole show so that they learn from you. So all in all, I feel it is a lot of collaboration that needs to happen between the management and the teachers. All right, and there has to be a very good design of this online classroom program, because this is going to stay for a bit. It is not going anywhere. So if there are teachers, like some of the audience members said, who find it difficult and they're working round the clock, you need to speak to your management and say, this is what I can do. Because remember, at the end of the day, that small little child is only looking at his teacher. He or she doesn't know what goes in the background, what stresses she has faced. If she's not smiling, she's not active enough in that 30 minutes of class, the whole point is lost. So I think it is very important that the preschool owners, and it is also, the burden also lies on the teacher to communicate. And I think Dr. Sangeeta's presentation did talk about all of these things, that we need to look after ourselves, because a teacher will have a trickle-down effect on the child, no matter what, whether it is an online platform or it is a classroom platform. So I think we are good with time, and we will wrap up the session. But before we go, each one of us will give us a closing thought on stress management of educators, because this time is here to stay, and we need to be happy, and we need to make the best of what we are doing. And I tell my teachers, you need to love what you're doing. That's the only way you will make it best. So last thoughts, Dr. VASAVVI.
Yeah, my message to all the educators out there is to, accept the change, because change is the only permanent factor in our lives, and learn from it. Manage stress by giving themselves time and the pat that they require. Actually, if nobody gives them, they should pat their own backs, because they are doing a lovely job. And yes, I think this is the thing. Learning goes on, change is there, so we have to accept it and go on in life. And I think they are their biggest motivation are the small children they always meet. And in fact, personally, I would say children actually light up my life, and I really love, when I see all the videos and all of that. So it's worth it, I think. It's worth all the pains that we are taking and all the stress. And tomorrow, when we are better off, we will look at these days as, probably some of our golden learning days. And that is my message to all the educators out there. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. VASAVVI. I come to Priya. Priya, what is your closing thought? What is your message to all the educators on this forum and who will watch later on also on our YouTube link? What would you say?
My thing is, I applaud every educator today for making that transition, which is not something that they would have actually done. So you educators, teachers, whoever, in any little form that you've contributed towards early learning, you all have taken a paradigm change. You'll have done something that you all never knew that you would be able to do. You have it in you. You're all go-getters, and you all are doing a fantastic job. Trust in yourself. Only little thing that I would say is get some me time. You need to take the 10 to 15 minutes off every day. Unwind yourself, breathe, think if looking back at your children who in your school, take a few thoughts of them, smile with those memories, sit for 15 minutes away from all this and come back. You will be able to handle home as well as school. All the best.
Thank you, Priya. And closing thoughts from Dr. Sangeeta before we wrap up the session.
Thank you so much. I would like to shout out to all of you a big thank you to all the educators who are looking after our future citizens of India. You have not given up on us and them, and thank you for that first. And of course, as educators, please look after yourself. Your emotional needs also is extremely important. And this is how we will be able to manage stress. And looking at the brighter side, of course, we will look back and say that this is what we have achieved, and we have taken, a problem as an opportunity and have moved on in life. And with VASAVVI's permission, I will like to show a small poster of where we do a lot of remedial work also. So if anyone would like to reach out, and VASAVVI, maybe you can share that later on, okay?
Yeah, we can also post it a link on our website.
Yes, please. If we can be of any help to any of the schools, it will be great to, for all of us. So thank you once again, and wish you all the best for, the future which is coming in, and we will manage it, absolutely.
Sure, we will. Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta, Dr. VASAVVI, and Priya for this fabulous webinar. And my last thoughts, of course, I want to thank you all, have been lovely audience. And my closing message is love yourself. Keep loving yourself. If you love yourself, you can show that love to your family, to your children, and be good to yourself. We take so much time and we are good to everyone around us, but we sometimes forget to be good to ourselves. So be good to yourself, and have your own personal goals also which you would want to achieve. And thank you so much for joining us for this evening. We are doing a lot of good work. Early Child Care Development Forum is doing a lot of good work in terms of raising awareness, creating positivity in early childhood world. So keep following us, and we will see you in our next webinar, which will happen in the next week. Thank you so much, all the speakers, all the audience, and all the best to my lovely teachers out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simran.
Thank you, Simran.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.